have been well trained.
No.
in
You
my
don't have to
efforts.
carry a sword to be powerful.
I won't fail you.
Or do not.
I'm not afraid.
There is no try.
Hello and welcome, everybody. We are doing top 4 now. We have Matthew S. playing eBala Nightsister FN 2199 versus Riggs, who's playing eKylo FN 2199 and a First Order Stormtrooper. So, in the top 4 right now, we have all 9s decks. Riggs is the only one that does not run the Balatique version of it. He's running eKylo, obviously, who has some really neat tech against other 9s decks because generally they're running high-cost stuff. So being able to potentially hit into those with eKylo's special is pretty good. Right now it's just me on the stream. Everybody else is kind of running around. So eventually we'll have Ruben or Kim or somebody helping out here. But right now the players just shuffling up, getting Battlefield set up while both of the games get going, getting set up. Hopefully everybody is enjoying the stream. Had some pretty good matchups yesterday in the Swiss and had a really good game in the top 8 matchup that we just got done streaming. All 4 decks stream people are FN variations. Yep. And so, awesome announcement. They just, for the Emperor's tournament, they just handed out promos for it. It is a promo Emperor's Throne Room card. So go over to the Chance Cube Facebook page, and we'll probably have some pictures of that card going up soon. It's a pretty nice looking card. Pretty cool to have a promo Battlefield now. We're gonna try and get some videos of the Emperor's tournament. Maybe do a stream for it. It really just depends on whether or not we have the logistics to do it, because it's a very large format. And so Kim is stumbling her way into the booth now. I think she's having some problems.
Whew, that was almost a life-altering experience.
So, how are you today, Kim?
I'm good. We're here at the top 4. I'm
Top
really
4.
excited. I got to watch some of the other games. Unfortunately, we couldn't live stream. So that was pretty fun. So seeing Riggs here, I just watched his last match. So I saw him move on. Very exciting.
Yeah, and the stream during the last couple rounds has been, discussing the downfall potentially of 9s with how dominant it has been. When the entire top 4 for this event is made up of it. 7 of 8 in Germany. Almost half of Gen Con.
Yeah.
Half of France.
I feel like that happened. Maybe it seemed sudden. I don't know. Maybe I'm not as up to par with everybody. But it seemed like it happened suddenly. Like it was we had Pomaz dominating everything, and then we kind of had a moment where just some off the wall decks came out of the woodwork, and that's what I was hoping to see here this weekend. But it's been a lot of
the problem with 9s decks, and we've seen it over the course of yesterday and today on the stream. They're consistent,
right?
Like especially in a best of 3 format. Pomaz might be able to nuke them once, but can you nuke them 3 times?
Right.
So it really shows that the consistent factor of these decks is what's putting them over the top.
Yeah.
So we see Riggs has the Rebel War Room, and Matthew's bringing the Mos Eisley Spaceport, and we're taking Riggs' Battlefield, and you see he has that fancy top 4 prize.
Very cool. Well, and we're definitely going to see. I mean, we're so close to Empire at War, and we've seen all the spoilers that are happening this weekend. It's seriously going to shake things up.
Yeah.
So
Ooh,
I don't
so
know.
Riggs rolling in hot there.
Very nice.
And since he
Kylo's
hasn't
a little
paid
fired
for
up.
it yet, he hasn't paid for anything yet, so he's gonna punch for 4 damage here.
Kylo is fired up.
Balatique coming in, getting a focus and a blanksies. I've been seeing a lot of blanks over the last couple of days. I think it's the table. The table's not bouncy enough.
I moved it during the stream, or while we were on break, because I'm OCD and it wasn't centered. So perhaps maybe that'll shake a few of the blanks out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I went over and did a little woosah on it.
So we see a aftermath coming out. You can barely see the edge of it down there.
Oh yeah, just a little.
Yep. So getting aftermaths early is really, really good because their characters are dying, especially in 3 character decks. You're gonna get a bunch of triggers for it.
I clearly didn't fix the table.
Yep, more blanks coming out.
Sorry guys, I tried.
So Riggs playing out a vibro knife.
Always helpful.
He has that Rebel War Room there, so he's going to be able to resolve at least one of those dice. And with how 9s works, he could potentially roll and get a resource for free here.
Yeah.
Has a lot of ways to keep his deck going.
And unfortunately, well, there's some damage at least on the Trooper.
Yeah. Troopers with damage are nice.
Helpful
Yeah.
when they're accurate. And
I've seen a lot of people that had some really accurate Stormtroopers. So I guess the Empire or the First Order finally decided to invest in some better LASIK surgery.
Health insurance.
Yeah, health insurance. Yeah.
If you want nobody to die, have a Stormtrooper shoot at a red shirt.
So he doesn't like you to remove the 1 damage there from the First Order Stormtrooper. See Riggs discarding to reroll, gets a special on
nice.
the Kylo dice. So unless Matt has a way to get high cost cards out of his hand that has the potential to hit for a decent chunk. And we see a holdout coming down. Sorry for the little bit of glare on the cards. There's a light directly above the table, and the player on the left has a little bit of glare on their stuff. But sadly, Matt paid for that holdout blaster, so he's not going to get to resolve his dice quite yet, unless he claims.
Man.
Yeah.
That's always. I'm telling you, resource management can sometimes be very difficult. We saw yesterday that some of these decks had resources for days when some of these 9 decks don't normally have that.
Yep. So see,
reroll the blaster to get the resource he needs to pay for the blaster that he can.
Yep. And we see Riggs. It looks like Riggs is targeting the Nightsister first, which
interesting.
It in some of the games that I've had a chance to play against it, it's pretty good.
I'm new to this D6 that just came out.
Yeah. So some people, instead of having your opponent pick a card, they do it random. So
that's the first time I've ever seen that. Okay.
Yep. It's a thing that they do a lot in Magic the Gathering.
Oh.
So it's an old Magic
very cool
trick that people do.
Interesting.
It makes it so that there's no tells. Like when they're going to pick a card, it just makes it.
I never look at my hands when somebody's doing that. I'll look at the ceiling or somebody else. I won't look at my hands so that my eyes will never dart towards a card that
Yeah. And
don't
usually I'll just put them face down, let them pick one.
Mm-hmm.
But, different people do it different ways. So we see Matt picking the dice roll way, which is a solid way to do it.
Large D6 too. That can. I heard it thump the table when it rolls.
Gonna knock somebody out.
Uh-huh.
So we see Matt playing an Enrage there on his Nightsister to take him back up to 2 resources. And Riggs discarding to reroll. So here comes another He Doesn't Like You.
Wow.
Taking the discard, which, kind of signals that whatever Matt has left in his hand wants to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
So doing the damage, taking a shield off of Bala. And Matt plays a Boundless Ambitions to draw back up to 5 cards.
That's always an interesting play with a 9s deck because you're hoping to get some weapons in your hands.
You're banking on getting some heavy hitters.
I see a couple in there.
Yeah. So we see a friends in low places. Matt gets to see the riot baton.
Yeah,
So
always something you want to try to get out.
you know, hand knowledge is hand knowledge, but playing it to see one card may not have been like
Yeah,
the
no.
whole. The problem is if you wait until the start of the next round, you're slowing yourself down.
Yeah.
So see an overwrite of a Vibro Knuckles.
It may start getting, I don't know, it
For
may start getting a
two.
little noisier in here. They're going to start, I'm not sure, they should be starting the Emperor's Tournament here before too long.
Yep.
Very unique 3-on-3. We'll try to get you some coverage of that too.
My favorite kind. I'm going to start that subreddit when
So the players just discussing the current resource count from Matthew, just making sure that everything got paid for correctly, and it appears that he should have 0 resources, and he in fact does have 0 resources. So now he's just trying to figure out where to put this 2 damage at. Which character do you start picking in at first? Yep.
And that's a good choice.
Yeah.
With his special. With Matthew playing a 9s deck, he's going to have some higher price cards in there, so it makes sense to try to get that eKylo special out of circulation.
Yeah. And the IQ coming in with a modified side.
So that'll have
And Riggs will take a shield on eKylo. So we see Matt still has that focus, so he could potentially focus into a special here to get around the shields. Quite a few different options he has depending on what he needs.
Yep.
So he's going into the special and doing 2 unblockable. And now 9's finally coming in.
Oh, and hitting for the pay side of that melee damage on 9s. Unfortunately, Matthew doesn't have the...
But he has one showing, so he could just gain the resource and resolve it.
It's nice when at least comes together like that. It just takes you that extra action.
Yeah.
Which leaves that die out there a little...
And
it gives your opponent time to mitigate it.
Yeah, it prevents damage as well, because now the IQ isn't showing damage.
So he's doubting his own die, or pitching to reroll.
Pitching to reroll.
Well, it's sort of like doubting your own die. You just have to resolve it on that.
So he does 1 damage to take off that shield, and then takes the resource. So, and then he plays another copy of Enrage. So Matt, not being kind to his own Nightsister, just keeps punching her. He punched her 3 times.
She's having a rough day.
He's helping Riggs out here.
Yeah, that's always helpful. I'm like, go ahead and damage her. Makes my job a little bit simpler.
So at the end of that first round, pretty even.
Pretty even, yeah. I would agree.
Matt has the resource advantage here, but
yeah, 4s definitely
Yeah.
gives him a lot more options to work with, depending upon what he drew up to in his hand.
Yeah. So
you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have the cards you want. So Riggs.
So we have a crazy person attacking us in our booth. So say hi to the universe, Tom Malucci.
Yo, what up?
For those of you that don't know, Tom Malucci likes unicorns, long walks on the beach, and being world champion of Star Wars LCG.
Very nice.
So some more damage coming out into eKylo here with a FN flamethrower.
Always fun to get a flamethrower out on 9s. I mean, I like to play 9s. I know I'm the devil. Whatever. I've come to terms with it.
So evil.
I've come to terms with it. It's fine. So it's fun to play a flamethrower and a rocket launcher on 9s. It's just fun.
Yeah.
I don't play in quite such high stakes situations, which makes it a little more fun and less stressful.
So we see Riggs has that special showing on the eKylo dice.
Well, the rules say you can't.
Did anybody in the stream missing 1, 2, 3, 4? Clap your hands. Clap your hands.
I hope not.
Oh,
I think those of them that had to hear it all day yesterday probably got because it rains out. So hitting for 2 damage on Balatique there, getting rid of the shields, putting another damage on it. So a decent hit off of Kylo's
Yeah,
special.
absolutely.
You know, anytime you can hit something that costs more than one, you're pretty happy about it.
Ah, not a bad roll.
Apparently, we're giving people on the Twitch stream traumatic flashbacks.
So sorry, you guys. Oh, see, I told you I was the devil. So taking a shield, not a bad move there with Kylo getting a little,
getting a little roughed up
getting
there.
a little beat around.
So Bala rolling in that focus again. You know,
Yeah, if you guys are, now you guys mentioned we've got the bracket up over on our Facebook page if you want to see how the rest of these matches are progressing.
yeah, our other matchup is Nick Wilson versus Matt Schmaltz.
Nick is a local guy to me.
Yeah,
so.
we got to see him in the top 8
Yes.
and
Yeah.
saw him on the stream yesterday.
Yeah, very good guy.
Yep. Running a very unique deck.
I've never heard of
Rainbow
it before.
Nines?
Rainbow Nines.
Yeah.
Nobody plays that. Yeah, I would have. I'm sure most of it would have been nice to see a little diversity, to see a bad deck get through, something unusual get through. I
Yeah.
love that, but
Yeah. There's a lot of support for Isaac going into this.
Such a great kid.
Really nice kid. Ruben got to sit down and talk with him.
Yeah, so we'll have that
Yep.
interview available on our probably in the next day or so. And we interviewed Dominic and Demetrius, another father and son.
Yeah.
Here competing.
So we see Riggs getting a hold-up blaster out there and
Nice.
gaining a resource off of it.
Very quickly
Using that to
switching
switch
for
into a
right.
right.
Yeah, always fun
Yeah. So
with redeploy.
some pretty
which is
hefty,
nice.
pretty hefty melee damage
Oh, and rolling out a
potential.
blank, but he can. As I
Yep.
say, I love the reroll ability
Into a resource. But you know the Kylo 9's deck, you know all
You
the
need
resources
some
are good.
resources. Yeah, he's a lot of pay size.
And here comes in a rocket launcher.
Always fun. For 4. Wow, that's what you hope for.
I believe that is Dead Kylo.
Tried.
So
So someone, I know you guys have an official cheer going for Kylo in the chat, so you may want to have an official morning song.
let's have a moment of silence. Okay, that's enough.
He's such a whiny little brat, so it's okay.
Yeah,
Kylo, not you, Nate. You're not a whiny little brat.
I could be. So Riggs just probed Matthew there. Hit a FD11, which I have a feeling is gonna hit the battlefield
Yep,
here.
might as well. I mean, he knows it's there, so get it out.
And it rolls a blank
wow.
seize. So no cards in hand for Matt, but that Nightsister. You know.
Well, and he's got the focus on Bala right now. So.
Yep.
Still some options available on the table for him for sure.
Yeah, and we've seen Riggs in a couple games where you know his deck can stabilize and still pump out a ton of damage. So just because he lost Kylo, don't count him out of this yet.
Oh no. Oh, and re-rolling, hitting a special there on that rocket launcher.
Riggs into a
Riggs
resource.
is an excellent player. Watching another match of his, he thinks through his moves pretty well. And even as fast, like the second match I watched, the last game was moving so fast, and it just, and some of them, they played 8 rounds yesterday. It's tiring. So
We got half the room who built for being able to deal damage, and the other half done.
So we had a reroll there on
Nice.
a resource. So 2 damage showing. So can pump a little bit more in to one of these characters. We see Matt gaining some
taking some
resources,
resources.
probably setting up for next round. Is that rocket launcher? So he needs some way to pay for it.
yeah, that's the downside to that weapon.
Yep. So Riggs discarding to reroll.
Well, there is
And
the. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. There is the event that you can play that will allow you to not have to pay a side on a red die.
yeah, Imperial War Machine.
Imperial War Machine. Like,
Yep.
that comes in handy with a rocket
Yeah.
launcher in your deck.
And with the battlefield that Riggs is running there.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like Riggs played a Boundless?
Boy, that card's gotten so much more popular since Worlds.
It's gotten so much more popular since, FN.
Well, that too.
So Matt hits him for a discard side. So
Mill's my least favorite thing on the planet, but it makes sense here and there.
It's a little sad, drawing into a new hand and then losing one of them instantly.
Right, instantly,
but
yeah.
hitting a flank, not the worst thing for either player. It gets rid of dice removal for Matthew, but it also doesn't hit an upgrade for Riggs. So Got some good options from both players here. Let's see, pitch into reroll. And it's a blank and a shield.
Blankety. Well, as long as that Vibrant is out there.
Yep.
It's
So
a lot nicer when it's short. Ooh.
Matt focusing into a 2-for-1 on that blaster, and it gets doubted. And he rolls.
Now we're all in suspense.
I
don't know.
Special. So
that didn't work
Riggs
out
gets
so good.
to put the damage as he wants this way at least. So probably spread it out here a little bit. Yep. Ends up doing 1 damage to each.
Not too bad.
Politique coming in and getting double modified sides.
Not helpful at this point.
No. So looks like Riggs rolling in or re-rolling.
Oh,
and into more blanks.
You got at least re-roll the no, we can't. It's down here. That's 9 die. It's so easy to get those 2 die confused.
Yeah. I mean, this is. It hurts a little bit when you boundless ambitions and then just don't roll anything. So the question is here: Does Riggs pitch that last card to reroll?
Depends on how aggressive you want to play and what. I mean, how bad does he want it for the next round? He's gonna do the 2.
Looks like Matt's claiming here. Getting ahead on those activations, being able to roll in, get your guys out first.
That really does kind of help keep things in your favor and the momentum going your way.
Riggs discarding to reroll here again.
Discard, which won't do him any good, and 1.
So it's like
taken away. That'll be enough to get rid of the Nightsister.
Yep, killing the Nightsister. So 1 character down.
Yeah, so that'll at least Matthew can't use the Nightsister to go back and try to trigger those rerolls.
Yep.
I mean, Matt did most of the work on her.
Yeah, Riggs was able to gain another resource there from Aftermath.
Sorry guys, we have slightly noisy.
Yeah, they're getting ready to start the Emperor's Tournament, and so they're discussing all the rules because it's a very unique,
unfamiliar. Yeah, it's
unique
a very
format.
interesting format. Yeah, we're going to see what we can do to try to, separate from this, of course, because we want to bring you this coverage, but we're going to see if we can't try to get some of that. So it's 6 people. It's not the easy. I mean, we can barely get 2 into the shot, so you can see what's happening.
Yeah.
So imagine the difficulty of trying to get 6 players on the screen and be able to see what's happening. Yeah. Hey, there's dice and things are moving and people are doing stuff. That's
so we see a rocket launcher coming out and rolling in a blank. So and Riggs playing his own riot baton here. Gonna get to roll that out.
Be a parade with all these batons.
And he gets a 3-for-1, which unfortunately he does not have the resources to pay for. So he will activate the ability and reroll into another 3-for-1.
Oh man.
Yep.
The guy who signed up for the show this week was with his team.
You see Politique coming in hot. Rolling cold.
Rolling cold.
Coming in hot and rolling cold.
Well, that's what you were waiting on.
And Stormtrooper coming in and rolling just as cold. I take it back.
So at least it's
his eyesight's getting worse.
The air must have kicked on the table again. Seems to get cold over there. Yeah, so this being the first match out of 3 here in our top 4.
Yep, the other game going on right now is Nick Wilson versus Matt Schmaltz. Also both playing Rainbow Nines decks, so if we hear any game results from that, we'll let you guys know.
Team Rogue One Gamble versus Rogue One Nightstand.
they're announcing they're announcing team names for Emperor's Tournament, and it was Rogue One Nightstand.
That's what I thought it was. I need to save that for my next fantasy football.
Maybe that's the joke. How do you know that? Because look at Rogue One Team Nightstand. I know how your mind works. I know how your mind works. You're not thinking
so now both players here just kind of taking a second.
Oh yeah, I apologize. It's John Couture versus Nick Wilson. Matt's actually playing in this one.
Oh. Man,
it's been a long day. I don't know how to write words.
Oh, that's funny.
And Riggs looks like he's discarding the reroll here.
Hey, well, he got the resource he wanted.
Yep.
But trading off there.
Yeah. Yep. For those of you in the stream, you did hear right. The top 4 is all variations on Rainbow Nines. Riggs running the only one that is eKylo First Order Stormtrooper FN. The other 3
Slightly less rainbowy since there's no.
Yeah, the other 3
Yellow
are Balatique, Nightsister,
Yep.
first FN 2199.
We've got the carry, right? So you guys
And we hope to, with our partnership here, we thank you, sponsor Ultra Pro, for letting
Yep.
us bring this awesome coverage to you guys. We look to do more of this in the future. Because this is super fun for us.
It is. It is. And it's
Not
way
near
less stressful. Yeah. I
I'm
don't have
not
to
stressing
concentrate
that.
about
Nope.
playing.
Get to meet a lot of cool people at the convention.
Yeah.
Good times. FFG's downstairs. Doing store challenges. Demoing Legion. I gotta
Yep.
check that out later. Ooh, nice.
Dice going everywhere.
I don't even know where they all went. There it is.
So, has some damage showing. Rerolling the riot baton here.
I agree. I think you need to roll the dice and let them go all over the place to get. If you hold back, I feel like the die just don't.
So
don't
Matt
give you-
flanks that
Nice.
damage out.
So Riggs
Gotta keep alive that.
tried to start to get a little
Balatique.
momentum and makes it kind of hard.
Okay. Whichever side there for you. The other two.
So Riggs looking through Matt's discard pile here.
Fair enough. Totally fair move there. Sorry. We were up too late trying to get Force Friday good.
We were? I was
You
up
were.
later than you.
Have you guys seen the giant porg outside?
I
There's a
have.
giant porg.
I lost
outside
a
our booth.
game to it.
You did lose game.
Yep. It's pretty disappointing. It's
It's almost as tall as I am.
it's a
not
very
saying much, but-
it's a harsh player. That
It
Borg.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever you roll, your opponent rolls.
So the chat wants to know who we think's gonna
I
win.
am pleading the fifth.
I am rooting for Nick and for John because John is a North Carolinian as well. So I'm pulling for one of the 2 out of that matchup
That seems fair.
to
I'm
take
gonna,
it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would almost say a 9. I'm gonna hope a 9's deck wins.
No, I hope something without 9s wins.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
I lost. I lost that one.
Alright? The guy on my right is eliminated. I am now first player.
Stormtrooper taking some more damage there.
Yep, there we go.
So potential here to kill Balatique because of unblockable damage.
6, 7. Wait a minute. Yep, there
So
we go.
Bala dies. Riggs will
I'm telling you,
gain
when
a
you're in the middle
resource
of
here.
this and you were trying to add up damage, it is
Yeah.
so easy to be like, wait, is that enough? Is that not enough? Especially right when you're on
Yeah.
the cusp. It's always good to double check.
Literally said you guys signed up for
Holy cannoli. Everyone just got incredibly excited.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
So another 2 damage there at FN.
Good roll in with it. Yeah. Good roll in for Matthew on that.
Yep.
Rocket launcher.
He can,
Keep it in if you can afford it. Keep
yeah,
it in. I mean,
yeah.
that's some
He can kill the Stormtrooper right here with that 1 melee.
Annoying. I've been everywhere.
So Matt taking a shield here, and Riggs getting a resource. Matt throwing 3 damage at FN. So we have the
So here,
Stormtrooper dying here, which will get Riggs some money at least for it biting it.
They can resolve their ties.
He has a
so we've got 2 well-loaded 9s here.
yep, one with double rocket
Battle of the
launcher
Nines.
holdout and one with double riot baton vibrant knife.
Okay. So,
So technically similar damage output. The rerolls on those riot batons give them a little bit more consistency. Even though the rocket launcher has more damage sides, it eventually becomes a resource drain. But with how much money Matt's sitting on,
right now that's working out in his favor pretty well.
Yep.
Typically, like I said,
so Riggs needs to roll out here and hope for some big damage and hope that Matt doesn't have a way to interact with it. So we see dice going everywhere. At least 4 damage showing.
Yeah.
Another 2 there.
Ooh. Oh my.
Except there is a Stormtrooper die still there, so we need to make sure that one gets moved out.
There we go.
Someone noticed that, so he's showing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. Unblockable. Still not enough to kill.
No, but that certainly is going to swing the momentum a little bit over the Riggs. Although honestly, Matthew still just a good roll with the rocket launcher is enough. Could be enough to take out.
Yeah. Yeah. The question here is if Riggs is able to deal this damage, and Matt can't come back and kill him on the next roll, does Riggs have a weapon to overwrite and potentially steal it?
Yeah.
Yep. So we see a Vibro Knuckler overriding that holdout blaster for 8 damage, and he's going to pay 1 to deal a second damage with that.
That was a smart play there. Absolutely.
Especially with how much money Matt's sitting on right now.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah. He has the ability to still pay for pretty much anything. So Riggs has an out here if he's able to get this damage in and live. Otherwise, if Matt's able to roll in with some decent amount of damage, he just
nice to see though game 1 going this close.
Yeah.
Hyper. Not my Emperor.
Yeah.
The Hyperbirds is the next 2 teams up. In the Emperor's turn. In case you guys are looking for fantasy football names.
Ooh. Wow. That pretty much seals it for Matt right here. You know, the only thing that could save Riggs is...
So he's going to do the damage.
If he's doing the damage, just going out swinging.
Yeah.
But just a tad too short. And there you go. So game 1 goes to Matt. Yep. So they'll shuffle up, get reset, go on to game 2 of this best out of 3. So we're back. Got some liquid. Got some water. So we have
an update on the other match.
Yep.
Well.
Nick took game 1, and they're currently playing game 2 right now. So Nick wins, he goes to the finals. Nick loses, they go to a 3rd game. I know how best of 3 works. Yeah. I don't know how anything else works in this game, but I know how best of 3 works.
Oh, they did put the Emperor down a little bit. That is not going to be easy. I'm just telling you guys now. We will do our best to get you some coverage on this, but it is not going to be easy to do.
How many teams do they got playing in Emperor?
You know how many teams? I see 2, 4. No, there's more than 4.
It's going to be an interesting format to watch because there's
Really?
some crazy insanity going on.
How many teams are in? Thank you. So 6 teams. I can't see the other 2 from the angle. There's a giant pillar in there.
6 teams of 3.
6 teams of 3.
According to my math, that's more than 4 players.
Ta-da!
Which is how much the Top Cut has left in it right now. So it looks like they're getting their mulligans done. We have the potential for, eKylo to do some better action this game if he's able to.
What I like about a best out of 3 is that you play the first game, you start to get familiar with your opponent. You've gone through a good chunk of their deck. Now that doesn't. Some people don't play. They have the ability to change it up for the next game. I've seen that happen before.
Yeah,
but
it would be
interesting. Get more
interesting.
familiar with what your opponent has.
It'd be somewhat interesting if this game had like a 5-card sideboard or like 6 cards. Like
I've heard a lot of discussion about
it could
that.
throw in some pretty random abilities, some random stuff.
Those are like your favorite things, though, Nate.
Sideboards?
No,
or random
abilities.
Random abilities? Yeah.
Telling you what, you guys should see this deck.
At one point this weekend, we might have to stream my horrendous launch bay deck. It's bad.
Everyone else should see.
I won my first game with it on the weekend.
I played Nate, and I just stared and didn't know who to nothing. I didn't know who to attack. I didn't know who to go after.
Looks like they decided to take Riggs. Or not Matt's Battlefield. I don't know what it is. It's a little off screen here, and we don't have the list with us right now.
And we've lost our runner.
And it looks like a FD11 coming in, getting the 2-for-1 side. And a Vibro Knife coming in for Riggs, so getting that unpreventable train started early.
Choo.
Yep.
Choo.
Deals a damage to Balatik, so same first target as last game.
Yeah, and there's some cool alternate art cards coming out of here. Although one may not be used all that often, but there's that beautiful BB-8 that everyone's going to play now.
Yes, I'm going to run 4 BB-8s.
Yeah, there's an Emperor's Throne Room that's pretty cool. So we're sharing that over on the Facebook page. But if you want to check it out.
The Nightsister coming with the damage.
Yeah.
The FN coming in with blanks.
Blankety blank. That's so
and we
blanks
see
are so frustrating.
Matt focusing into a resource.
He's got a plan, it sounds like.
Probably wants to gain a resource and overwrite into something bigger.
Yep. So everybody just kind of thinking it through. That's okay. A little bit of high stakes here. So you can also see that really cool mat that the top 8 players got. That Grievous mat is pretty sick.
It is a pretty mat. Ugh.
Oh man. We have the Lure Power mat at home.
There's a logistics getting Matt 2 resources, so
he's got a plan.
Yep. Probably gonna try and start loading down 9s there. Get him kitted out again like last game.
Well, the faster 9s is going. I mean, the faster you can get weapons out on him, the more effective.
So he overwrote that holdout with the lightsaber, rolls into a modified side,
which is okay to leave out there because the chances are he's going to be able to hit. Oh, and probing, right, baton, and he doesn't like you.
He doesn't like you.
Oh, sorry, that was me. Yeah, I do see that chat. We've had this discussion before. You can shuffle an opponent's deck.
Yep.
When they offer it to you to do a cut, I was not aware of that rule either.
Any way that you choose to randomize it, as long as you do not damage it.
Uh-oh. That's not in any of our matches. That's over in the Emperor's Tournament. They are having fun over there. I'll tell you that.
So Riggs rolls in, gets double specials. The problem is Matt has 1 card left in hand. So if he wants to get rid of it,
oh man.
So if there wasn't the ability to overwrite there, that could have been a hefty swing. But now those are basically blanks on Kylo right now.
So poor Riggs is really sitting with 1 damage out and blanks on everything else. Theoretically.
Yeah. just the roll's not liking him so far early in this game. Matt being able to do some damage here. So we'll see who Matt decides to start picking on first. And goes after eKylo again. He's respecting the eKylo special there.
It worked before. Why not get it off the table again?
So looks like Riggs potentially discarding here to re-roll his dice.
You have to at this point.
And gets into some damage sides, but doesn't have any resources.
Kylo's ready.
So 2 damage coming in here on eKylo, putting him at 4.
Yep, so he actually has a shield and damage on Kylo.
Yep. Gonna take the
It
shield.
just got put out in front in random places.
Some more damage and resources for Matt coming in.
Oh my goodness.
And he has the ability to reroll that baton dice if he so chooses.
There's something about this table that wants to give resources.
There is.
He knew everybody was going out to buy Force Friends.
So reroll gets a 3 for 1. So
Good. But does he have the one to pay it? I don't see any resources.
does not, and I believe that they're not using Riggs Battlefield, which would let him resolve it. So I don't think that currently there is a way for that dice to be resolved. So only going to be taking 1 here, which will just ping off the shield.
Off the shield. Yep. So beneficial for Riggs there.
So gonna punch the Nightsister.
That poor chick.
She gets abused.
She got a rough go.
And hitting her again, and rolling into the 2 melee. So doing 2 damage to Nightsister for a trade-off of dealing 2 damage to eKylo seems pretty solid.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's what she's there to do.
Yep. So Riggs had claimed there, so he's going to get the first action in this next round. Potential there for eKylo to get his specials out early and try and play around.
You're
Matt
seeing what
being
I'm
able
seeing.
to discard.
There's some nice, some pretty little things that came up in the races.
So it looks like Riggs bringing in eKylo first.
Yep, why not? Ooh.
And getting a 2 for 1 and a resource. So has the ability to pay for that 2 for 1, but then it kind of limits what he might be able to do later on.
Yeah, you have to really kind of think that through.
Yep, this is the best of 3. This is game 2 right now. Matt took the first game.
Matthew rolling in eBala. A couple of focus, that'll come in handy.
So Riggs grabbing some more money here.
Well, like
playing the long game, trying to rack up the resources, pay for stuff, and get your other characters, with some stuff on them, so that when eKylo goes down, you're not too far in a hole.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
which we saw in the last game where eKylo went down early, but was able to generate some resources and some other advantages. And it ended in a pretty close game at the end when it looked clearly like Matthew was coming over the top.
Yeah, for a good portion of that game, it looked like Matthew really was kind of edging ahead.
So someone in the chat is new to the game and was asking what FN does. So
he rock and rolls it.
He does. So what happens is if you play an upgrade on him that is a weapon, you can roll that dice into the pool and then resolve it immediately.
If you can resolve it. Now, if you roll a blank, it's going to stay out there. If you roll a modified side, it's likely going to stay out there.
Or something that you can't afford.
Yep. Story my line.
Yep. So it basically lets you do a lot of shenanigans with
so then
overriding, rolling
what
in.
What is override?
Yep. And so we see Matt rolling in, getting 2 more damage on eKylo. Put him at 8.
So he's starting to... Kylo's in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, and the problem is Riggs just hasn't been able to get a consistent amount of damage out. Like the 3 damage on the Nightsister has all been Matthew's doing, and the 2 damage on eBala has been what Riggs has been able to get on it. So
I'm sure that's frustrating for him.
So see Riggs grabbing a resource here so that he can pay for one of those those pay sides on his dice. In comes 9s for Matthew.
Ooh, double blank.
Rolling blanks. But with those 2 focus on Volatique there.
Right, you can focus on the special.
Yep. So, he's looking at losing Kylo this turn because of those focus if he can't interact with the dice.
And so really, if you're rigs, do you try to interact with it, or do you just let the inevitable happen and focus your
which it looks like,
elsewhere?
by playing a holocron on 9s right here, you're pretty much just giving up Kylo.
Right.
You're saying, okay, do what you can.
Yep.
I'm tempted.
That makes the decision hard on Matthew. Then what do you focus those to?
Yeah, I'm tempted. If I'm rigs here, to pay for the 3-for-1 on that lightsaber so that you can roll it back in.
Oh yeah.
Doing it like you don't really need to worry about that Kylo dice. Whatever, if you lose it, you lose it.
Yeah.
But being able to re-roll that 3-for-1 is solid. So we see it coming on the Nightsister here, so that it prevents re-rolls. Like if you want to use her ability to re-roll, you're killing her.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the way to do it.
And Riggs has an aftermath out already, so if you kill that Nightsister, you're just helping Riggs out a little bit more.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah. So you see Matt discarding the reroll here. Gets
Matt doesn't
a
need to
special and a modifier. So
then do you focus that other bala die into?
I think you focus one of the bala dice into a 1. So deal 4, like you're gonna kill Kylo here, and then have the ability to kill, or not kill, but to start in on another character.
Right.
So we see Riggs rolling in and just
Not
like he has the modifier, but doesn't have a way to pay for that Kylo dice in order to resolve it.
just getting 1 discard on the Nightsister.
So now it comes down to what Riggs has. What can he do? Does he have a way to keep Kylo alive right here?
Yeah, if he could get him into the next round, maybe. But
yeah, if he has the ability to keep Kylo alive into the next round, then it starts to tip more into an even playing field. He's still on the back foot with how much damage Kylo is taking.
Right.
But with the Nightsister and Bala having some damage on him, starts to even things out a tad.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what makes that Kylo build a little bit, I don't know, it's got a little bit more staying power because there is more health that the opponent has to chip through than with Rainbow Knights.
And the other trick that Riggs has in his deck, and that we've seen because the deck lists have been shared with other players, is he has the price of failure. So if Riggs has that in his hand right now, before Matt's able to kill it, does he sack it to ready his own lines right now and get extra advantage out of a character that's going to die? Plus, it'll trigger the aftermath.
That'd be nice.
So a lot of different ways for Riggs to stack advantages out of losing a character.
Right. Yeah, it can make that blow a little bit easier to take. Us focus on Nightsister.
Yep, focus in, getting the. Gonna be able to do potentially 5 damage here.
Yeah,
with
I'm not
ranged.
I'm not sure what Riggs has. I haven't seen. Both players kind of doing a good job of
hiding their hands. Which is good. So players kind of thinking through what they're going to do next. A lot of different decisions that could be made. So we see a doubt coming out. Rolling the Nightsister into a 1, which ends up saving Riggs 3 extra damage here because now he can't combine it into that modifier. So, a good doubt right there because if he rolls into a 2, you take the 2. If he rolls into a 1, you take the 1.
Right. Yeah.
You're not taking 5 or 4 damage though. So puts 1 more into Kylo, puts him at 9. So the IQA can kill him here.
I couldn't quite figure out. I was looking to see if I think he has force lightning, but I'm not controller rather than press it.
I like how you're like leaning to try and like look around the monitor.
Yeah, if I lean closer to the monitor, will I
So
see it better?
discard for a reroll here, and so resource modified sides. The problem is the character that has the black side is just gonna die right now.
Yeah.
So. Yep.
Yeah, because I think Matthew.
Yep. Gotta ping him for 2. You know, gives Riggs a resource, but
not going to be super helpful for him for what he has out on the table right now.
Well, he does have that holocron, so he can
switch it up for Force Lightning.
Yep.
So it was Force Lightning. He had his hand. Ta-da! I knew him.
He has that resource, so he can pay the 1 to roll it in right now, and get to 2. So.
Well,
So now the question is the card that's left in Riggs' hand valuable enough for him to keep, or is he going to pitch it?
To reroll, yeah.
Yep. And we see Matt focusing into a 2 damage side,
Nice.
so probably going to go after the Stormtrooper, just because if he was going to go after 9s, it probably would have been better to focus into the special to make it unpreventable.
Right, yeah.
Unless he just wants to get that shield off of 9s.
So, I think...
So we see the Nightsister going down,
yeah.
gaining another resource from Aftermath. That way, if he does reroll and gets into one of the pay sides, he has an option to
That's
pay
awesome.
for it.
Yeah. Good.
Balatik coming back in. Gets a focus in a blank, so can focus into damage.
That, yeah.
Yep.
Well, he got a stick.
Yep. So focus into it.
Yep, and +2.
So gonna be 4 damage coming somewhere.
That's unblockable.
So unblockable damage.
There you go.
Put him at 3. So Riggs still has a resource and a discard left, but I don't think that Matt has any cards left in hand.
Yep, so hit him at least. Knock him
And
out.
end around.
Yep. Wait. What? Pause.
Yep, just a little hitch there. Riggs is passing, assuming that Matt was going to claim. And Matt was like, wait, what's going on? So players drawn back up. Got a fully healthy 9s for Matt with a slightly beat up Balatik versus a healthy Stormtrooper and a slightly beat up 9s.
Just only slightly. Only slightly dented.
Rolling
Hitting
in
that
with
special.
that special.
It's good rolling.
Paying it, dealing 2 damage. So
Not the hardest
not
hitting.
quite as focused as the 4 for 1, but still a total of 4.
So Riggs really needed some good rolls at this point
Yep.
to keep himself here.
Yeah,
and
if he
moving on.
can take out one of those 2 characters quickly, he has.
Yeah,
he
that
has
would really
he might
swing
be
the
able
momentum a
to. The
little
problem is, you know, I don't think he has the ability to do 11 damage in a single roll, which is what he kind of wants to do to just take out.
to take out
9s.
Yeah.
Which.
Yeah, and not. I'm sure he was hoping for some more damage, I'd say.
So a flamethrower overriding an IQA with a Nightsister in the discard pile. He comes in the flamethrower, gets a disrupt. So we see Riggs losing the money here, which is relevant because he was on 3, so now it puts him back down to 2, limits what he can do. See Riggs discarding to reroll.
They're still having fun with that Emperor's tournament.
Riot Baton coming out over that flamethrower.
Interesting.
And getting a 3 for 1.
So he's gonna go ahead and do it.
I believe he had the resource. I believe Matt gained a resource at the end of the last round.
Oh, okay.
It just was off the screen slightly.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure that he's been paying for everything. They have a judge standing there watching, and the judge has been catching, making sure that.
I was gonna say most of these matches the judge has been
and none
there
of
the whole time.
like there's been a few things that have been caught by the judges that were never intentional things. It just was, minor mistakes by players. So.
Like, hey, that dice still on the table.
Yeah. So I believe that Matt was running the correct amount of resources and that everything was paid for.
Yeah, unfortunately, like there every now and again, our mat is wider than what the screenshot is, so there are a couple of things that happen out of view.
Yeah, like Rig's still having that aftermath somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere down there on the left is an aftermath. But if we zoom out so you can see all the cards, then you'll tell us that you can't see the die. So you have to pick your poison. Then we'd just be telling you, look, you rolled a red die. I don't know what he got on it, but he rolled one.
So Matt rolling in, getting resources and a damage.
A blank on that rock.
So not enough to kill anyone currently. He has the option to reroll that riot baton if he chooses, which, depending on what's in his hand, might be a good option if he's trying to go for the damage.
Right, without having.
Yep. So it's like he is deciding to reroll it. So 3 damage. So
that's a
can kill 9s. Unless Riggs has a way to deal with it, which he has the flank, so keeps 9s alive because it would have been bad if Bala was able to ready again. I think that Stormtrooper doesn't stand a chance.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm trying to look here. I think only the lightsaber would be redeployable over here on Riggs' side. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he'd lose all his damage output because he'd have a lightsaber that really has no way to connect with the Stormtrooper.
Right.
So Matt discards to reroll.
Stormtrooper wouldn't know what he was doing.
Yeah. So we see the Force Lightning getting rerolled into a blank. But at least the die's still out there, so if Riggs decides to discard to reroll, could reroll into something good. We see Matt maybe
changing his
gaining
mind.
resource.
Changing his mind.
Yeah. No, he ends up
taking
gaining
the
resources. So now Riggs could potentially deal 5 and takes out Balatique, which gains him a resource from the aftermath. So Riggs needs to do 10 damage.
Boy. I mean, he's got some good... If he can connect on some of those melees and then hit really good with the Force Lightning.
I think...
he needs some really, really good rolls.
I think Riggs needs to claim here. I think rolling in first is something that needs to happen.
It's a 9.
35 minutes left in the round.
So, looks like he's discarding to reroll that Force Lightning. Gets a special.
When what you really want is that.
But the thing is, you can roll in that Stormtrooper. Has a 1 in 3 chance of rolling a blank. So you don't really care if you discard a Stormtrooper die to reroll and potentially get into a 4th.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah. So it looks like John and Nick are both 1 win apiece now. I think they're going to game 3.
Okay.
They were shuffling up and everything.
Be,
So Trooper coming in.
Hot or not? Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 damage is 2 damage. So ends up doing 3 extra damage there to Matt's 9. So
Matt's pretty good on resources at this point.
Yeah,
well, really,
both players.
It's not too bad.
And the thing is, this game is still legitimately close.
It really is.
It all really comes down to rolls here.
Yeah. So if Matthew wins, he'll move on to the top 2. If Riggs wins, we're going to go to a game 3.
Yep. The problem is since Matthew's playing first here and playing a he doesn't like you on his character.
I was like, wait a minute.
So players getting a good chuckle over that one.
I was like, I've never seen that move before. Is that a new move I don't know about?
Yep. So rolls in
New
with
things
that
here at the Novo.
Vibro Knuckler and is able to do 2 damage to 9s.
I paid the right money. I said the right name.
So now we have a lone Stormtrooper facing down FN. Fully loaded out. Yeah, it looks like the other game, they're tied up at 1 game apiece.
Oh, great.
Going to
Okay.
be going to another game 3.
So, yeah, I was gonna say they're playing just as many games. It's almost as tiring. I mean, it's just even more stressful and as tiring as yesterday. These guys have been eating a nice long nap or a very tall drink after.
Yeah. So technically, Matt still has an action here because of the ambush.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
If he's realized.
Yeah.
It. Yeah.
The other matchup is Nick Wilson versus John Couture. Both players running Rainbow Nines.
Yep.
So we see a
Greg's
holdout
getting
coming
a
out.
holdout blaster to go pew pew, and another holdout blaster. So the only downside is that's only leaving him with 1 resource.
Yeah, the thing is he basically needs to roll in and hit enough to just take
Mm-hmm.
9s out.
Yeah, at this point.
So it basically comes down to this roll here. Is it going to be good enough?
Yeah.
He's got
So
2,
many blanks.
but that's not enough to really do anything.
So Matthew Payne 1.
So he plays the flank,
Yeah.
so preventing the damage anyways. So
Matthew
Riggs
pitching the reroll.
pitching
Or,
this
I'm sorry,
guy.
Riggs pitching the reroll.
you got 5 showing here, but 5 plus 4 is not 11.
Nope.
No, 5 plus 4 is
Well,
9.
and if he tries to insert lightsaber into blaster, things may go poorly. For him.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Lightsaber throw? That would be cool
Put it in the gun and shoot it.
if it let you.
Lightsaber shoot.
I'm gonna shoot lightsabers at you. So you see Matt rolling in with an ambush weapon, not resolving it in order that he doesn't like you.
And yeah, I see in the chat. People forget ambush constantly. I totally agree. It's just you get in the moment, you're just not thinking.
And Matt rolls in 4 damage and a range. So unless Riggs can interact with that, that's a dead Stormtrooper. So we got 4 damage coming in here. And it looks like Riggs will put 4 damage back into FN.
Yeah, but it's just not going to be enough.
And
a little pew pew
and
action.
that
That's
is the
the
game.
game.
Congrats to
Matthew.
Matt for pulling out some pretty good games there against Riggs. Well fought on both sides.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Riggs came in,
Yep.
top 2 player, played hard yesterday. So both players, everybody here played hard to be here today. So they've done a heck of a
congrats
job.
to both of them. Both good opponents, good players.
Mm-hmm.
Good to have them both on the stream, and we'll be back in a little bit with the finals.
The finals, top 2. This is
Yeah.
amazing. Very exciting. We're enjoying it. Thank you guys for tuning in and checking it out. Thanks again, Ultra Pro, so we could be here and stream this for you all. And check back soon. We're going to be in the top 2. Holy cow. And then when it's done, we're going to crown a U.S. national champion for the first time ever.
Yep.
In Star Wars Destiny. So that's kind of exciting. In the meantime, maybe one of us will sneak down to FFG's booth, do a staff challenge with your crazy deck.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
Could
running
do
some
it.
pretty
You never
goofy
know.
stuff out
They
there.
they're running Empire at War, so you have to bring your not Empire at War deck and try to go up against a Hera deck that I hear is just brutal.
Yeah, I heard the mill deck is pretty brutal. The
Yeah.
one guy's running, he had 13 resources at one point.
Is it Thrawn Unkar? Is that
Thrawn
what it is?
Unkar, he had 13 resources, and there's a new card where you pay resources
That card
and
is
mill
insane.
that many. He's like, I mill you for 13.
Yeah, I was I was talking to Joe, I believe, outside when we came back earlier.
Yeah.
And they had been down there playing.
Yeah.
And they had witnessed that getting milled for
Yep.
that card. If you guys want to talk about erratas, take a look at that card. It's like leave my effing pile alone for a little bit and check that out. But
Yeah.
anyway, we'll go see what trouble we can get into, and we'll be back soon.
Yep.
Goodbye.